inside. You don't need more time. You need a shift in being. You see, there are infinite versions of you, each living a life.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube? Hey, what's going on? It's the intro to the Old School Radio Podcast. What's going on, y'all? Much love from the tribe, baby. Ha-ha! Hey, give me 1 second while I get this TikTok on live as well. I'll let your boy. What's going on, y'all? Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, it's the intro. I'm on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. What's going on, y'all? Hey, it's the intro to the Old School Radio Podcast, baby. We're going to do it like it should be done, and it's all good. We're going to get it cracking. Hey, anybody on the live on TikTok? Hey, y'all ready for this? We're going to get it done, y'all. We're going to make sure everything is on point. Now, the last YouTube Live, I talked about family. The foundation of a people is always family. But this time, I think I'm going to focus on, well, first of all, let me let y'all know, it's an open discussion on the Old School Radio Podcast. It's always an open discussion going on. So, I watched Russell Palooza on Saturday. Very, very interesting. Byron, let's see here. Cody beat Drew McIntyre. Kind of not surprised about that because Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes is the WWE's golden boy now. It's always somebody who had their turn to be the face of the company. So, based on that, we talked about Io Sky with Viola Valkyria. Valkyria is a very talented young lady. She has very a lot of skills. Io Sky is definitely one of the best lady superstars to ever jump into a ring. She's been champion multiple times. And based on all that, once again, we've actually been on live on YouTube and TikTok. So the people on YouTube, hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe, baby. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Hey, you TikTok peoples, what's up, y'all? Hey, follow a brother. I got some very, very interesting. Got a podcast coming out. I've been doing podcasting and radio for a number of years now. But I'm coming live from Chicago, baby. I am from Chicago. So everybody here. So anyway, just want to let everybody know what's going on. Keep everybody up to par. But if anybody who watched Russell Palooza, the match between Io Sky and Viola Valkyria, very interesting match, very hard-fought match. I expected Io Sky to win, to be champion again, but I think WWE is finally getting people to actually, getting people to actually, put it this way, giving young talent a chance. There's no, I don't see any politics. I'm sure there's politics in the WWE still. But I've been watching WWE ever since it was WWF. The Hulkster, who passed away recently, a lot of people called him a racist. I'm sure a lot of people who are behind the scenes, not everybody, they act different when they're behind the scenes, when they think the eye's not watching or when they think the camera's off. So, based on all that, rest in peace, Hulkster. You know, by me being a wrestling fan, but I didn't like the fact that he used the N word. So they kind of turned me off a little bit becoming a Hulkster fan, but I must give that man respect. He built the industry as a whole. He built the industry as a whole. But anyway, I love the match with Io Sky and Valkyrie. It was a very, very hard-fought battle match, and I'm happy for Valkyrie being WWE Women's Champion. Me personally, the only reason why she is champion is because my girl Naomi and Jimmy Uso have a baby coming. You know what I'm saying? Congrats to them, adding to the bloodline once again. Okay, now the match that really got me interested was the Usos from the Uso Penitentiary. The Usos against the Brownies. Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, based on that, made it happen, Captain. So we have to really, very interesting that they let the young talent, Braun Breaker, he's a Steiner. Everybody knows about the Steiner brothers. Scott Steiner and his brother was in WCW for years. He kind of looked like his father, man. He looked just like his father. His eyes, his cross-eye, everything. But the man, I'm very impressed with this athlete, Braun Breaker. And very impressed with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed was the type of brother who would just sit there and be like, man, okay. The way he moves as a big man, pause. The tsunami, one of his patented finishing maneuver, they end up beating the Usos. I'm shocked that this happened. I guess we got a storyline coming with Jey Uso turning heel. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly think the bloodline story shouldn't go out of style. Okay? This is a huge family. Wrestling family at that. So I'm surprised that Jacob Fatu did not be a part of WrestlePalooza. I guess everybody can't be a part of WrestlePalooza, but Jacob Fatu is a heck of an athlete as well. I'm very impressed with him. Another athlete that's not in the WWE as of yet, that's part of the Fatu family, is Zilla Fatu. Umanga's, basically Umanga's son, one of his kids. I'm very impressed with Zilla Fatu. Zilla Fatu and Jacob Fatu used to be a tag team back in the Indies, as far as wrestling is concerned. But I can't wait till Zilla Fatu make his debut, based on all that's happening in the WWE. Okay. And I don't know what they're gonna do with Solo Sikoa. I don't know what they're gonna do with the Usos' brother, little brother. but he's so-called trying to keep the, you know what I'm saying, the family, the MSTs, as they say, my family tree group, based on all that's happening, you know, and everything happening that way. But I just want to talk about wrestling a little bit and the matches of Wrestlepalooza that impressed me. Okay, but me personally, when they talk about Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, I think Drew McIntyre should have been champion. He's champion for a second. He was champion for a second. Damian Priest came in back in their beef. Actually, the reason why I started their beef some time ago, Damian Priest came in and cashed in his money in the bank. El Champion. You know, very impressed with Dominic Mysterio. I remember when he was a kid, when his father, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace, Eddie. Rest in peace. Eddie Guerrero was one of my favorite wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? The way he actually presented himself inside and outside the ring. I know it's a well-known fact that Eddie Guerrero had problems outside the ring. But I had a lot of favorites back in the day. One of my favorite wrestlers back in the day, before the actual Attitude Era, was Bret the Hitman Hart. You know, I'm a Bret the Hitman Hart fan. And, you know, I think he's one of the safest and respected wrestlers in the game. You know, but what ended his career back in WCW is when Goldberg kicked him in the head. And they talk about that he never forgave Goldberg for that. I'm not sure of what's going on with that situation or I don't know if they discussed it. By me not being around them, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what the gist of it is. I'm not going to assume nothing, but I know there was a time that Bret the Hitman Hart openly, publicly stated that Bill Goldberg was an unsafe wrestler. Okay. And it's weird that way. But by me being a wrestling fan, it had me understand certain things happening based on that. And I just think at the same time, we have to really focus on talent. I think the WWE women's roster has got, based on Wrestlepalooza, I'm going to get to that. Speaking of women, but I'm going to get to that. I think they roster, as far as talent, NXT, you know what I'm saying, Raw, SmackDown, the women has picked up their game. They picked up their game as far as being in WWE. You know, Bianca Belair, one of my favorites. You know, Nia Jax is one of my favorites. But ever since they started in the game, Naomi is one of my favorites. You know, I think the Bella Twins is one of my, the Bella Twins, paved the way to a lot of things. But one wrestler, 3-time Divas champion, 3-time Divas champion, AJ Lee. She beat Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Her and CM Punk, she from Jersey. AJ Lee is from Jersey. But CM Punk is definitely from the shot, from Chicago, hometown, baby. But AJ Lee put her in the Black Widow and won the match. I haven't seen that move since the last time she did it, 10 years ago. Based on all this happening, I know people say with wrestling and say it's fake, it's this, that, and other thing, but it's very entertaining. And these are real athletes doing real moves in the game, in the ring. And they have real injuries, happening that way as well. They have real injuries. So I think it's something that you have to be a real athlete to wrestle. You have to be. I know I couldn't do it. Not to say I'm not a real athlete, but not all football players and basketball players can actually do the game. To actually wrestle, man. That's crazy as ever. Because one person that I've watched in the social media game and became a wrestler and decided to become full time and finally decided a couple of years ago to become serious about it. Become serious about it. That's Jake Paul's brother. But he reminds me of a young Cody Rhodes. He reminds me of, what's that brother name? Evan Bourne, but a little bit bigger. Evan Bourne was more high risk. No, actually, no. I'm going to take that back. He reminded me of Evan Bourne and the way, what was that brother? He's a McMahon. What's his name? Shane McMahon. The way he did things based on that and everything happening. So I just want to let you guys know that Old School Radio Podcast is an open forum. I'm going to talk about wrestling. I'm probably going to talk about basketball, football, talking about issues in the world, our issues, black people's issues, issues, certain current events that's happening in the world. But I can talk about anything. And I had to talk about wrestling this time, this rip, because it's something that I really focus on based on what I love. I'm an open-minded person. I need y'all to hear my message. I'm not that I got a lot of things to talk about, but I want to talk about things that you guys want me to talk about, because I have to give y'all what y'all want, and at the same time give y'all what y'all need. But I'm gonna start off forever giving y'all what y'all want, because everybody talks about certain things, and again, there's a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of them out there. But the purpose of the Old School Radio Podcast is to let people know, hey, another open forum for y'all, for the people. You gotta give the people what they want, based on that and everything. I want to give the people what they want. And when I give the people what they want, they are going to eventually tell me what they need. So that's the plan of what I'm trying to do, is to let people know, hey, hit my message. Send me a message. I'll read them all. You know what I'm saying? Hey, YouTube, send me a message. I'll read them all. But I need y'all to like and subscribe as well. Hey, follow me. So TikTok, I need y'all to follow me. So I'm not doing this for clout. If you don't follow me, there's nothing I can do about that when it comes to that. But if you do follow me and then communicate to me what you want to talk about, I'll be happy to do that. That's no problem at all, because I don't know it all. As I stated in the first intro, I think about a couple of days ago, I was on YouTube Live, like I am now, and I was talking about family. What is the foundation of family? I mean, what's the foundation of people? Black people, human beings alike. What's the foundation of our existence? And the problem is, just let y'all know it's family. We are built that way. Black people always talk about family and what's going on. See, the foundation of us as a people is family, no doubt about it. But the problem today is that people don't know how to act like family. People don't know what family is. Like back in our generation, see, I'm 52 years old. I'm from Generation X, as they say. So ever since Facebook, they say Facebook is for older people, which is true. We are from older people. But my goal is to reach the younger people as well. But back in our day, we came up in an era that they didn't think we was gonna make it. They didn't think, you know what I'm saying? They didn't think that we was gonna rise up. Even though in our time of our version of hip hop back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Not to say hip hop today is y'all hip hop today. It is what it is. You know, people that was older than us did not like our hip hop unless they wanted to bridge the generational gap. So we had conscious rap, hip hop. A lot of our hip hop, even when they did gangster rap with NWA, Dre and them did sometimes come with some positive stuff mixed in with their gangster stuff, which is cool. I had no problem with gangster stuff. I'm a gangster rap fan, okay? But I was also a hip hop fan. I'm sorry, a conscious rap fan. Like people like KRS One. Even today, KRS One. Even today, KRS One he turned the discussion of hip hop in the universities as a curriculum. Hip hop, a curriculum. And how we took, here's the thing. People today don't talk about hip hop as being a part of a culture. What is a culture? A group of people that understand and believe in the same way. That's a culture. Not a cult. Not people who, they always saying cult or Jim Jones with the Kool-Aid. Everybody sipping on the Kool-Aid. But culture, breaking, graffiti. What is it? Breaking, graffiti. I'm sorry, graffiti. Lord have mercy, I can't talk today. Graffiti. So man, 5 elements hip hop. Lord have mercy, I'm slipping. So it's graffiti, breakdancing, the DJ, and the rapper. One more thing, the African Bambaataa, look him up, African Bambaataa. At that time, how should I say, restructured the culture of hip hop. He put knowledge as a sixth element of hip hop. And at that time, you had MCs like Rakim, who put knowledge in their music. You had KRS-One, who put knowledge in their music. X-Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian. A lot of groups that came out, Public Enemy, which is one of my favorite groups. And the same group, a lot of young folks don't know what I'm talking about, the same group that Flavor Flav came from. I don't know who, young folks know who Flavor Flav is, or Chuck D, or Professor Drift, or what the case may be. But our music, I went from wrestling to music. Our music said something of who we were and where we came from. You know, a lot of people came from a religious organization. A lot of the rappers became 5%ers. Our 5%ers under the Clarence 13X Act. Okay? Gods of the earth. Queen mothers of the earth. A lot of this knowledge came from. But before that time, our music, which is a part of our culture, our music, our language was different. Hip hop had a certain language. It has a certain language. It has music. It has art. Everything tied into everything that's mixed up in hip hop was a part of the culture. Everything that makes a culture, hip hop had it. And we, based on us, we were taken away from our culture and brought here. And we expressed ourselves, whether it's in pain, whether we felt good, whatever the case may be. We talked about, we're talking about blues, we're talking about jazz, we're talking about gospel, we talked about blues, we talked about funk, we talked about disco, we talked about all this music that we developed and created. Rock and roll, we created rock and roll. But that's because we came from a culture and we lost our culture. We have to go back mentally and spiritually to get a part of our culture. And what we didn't get, we had to recreate for ourselves. The drum beat. You know what I'm saying? The 808 kick. All this came from the motherland. So we have created so much stuff. We have recreated so much stuff. We built this country. We were forced to come over here. We built this country. Benjamin Banneker developed Washington, D.C. A lot of these people from our past, Carter G. Woodson created Black History Month. I don't know why he chose or was probably forced to use the shortest month of the year. But Black History Month is not just 1 month. Black History Month is a lifetime. So we have to really focus on everything that we do. We have to get back to our culture. We have to learn who we are. And I mentioned back in YouTube, my first introduction to, letting y'all know about the Old School Radio Podcast coming out October 31st, 2025. It's coming out soon. And I'll probably continue to do it this way on YouTube Live and on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever the case may be. But we have to really focus on everything that makes us a people. Our human being qualities, the melanin in our skin. So this is something that's important to us. At least it is important to me. I can't speak for everybody. But culture is important to me. Understanding our culture and other people's cultures is important to me. Because I want to know, I want to understand. Because the origin of our culture, as people now today are on that extraterrestrial kick, we was talking about this type of stuff, back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and the 70s, way before today. Afro, everything recycles itself. We was talking about the Emerald Tablets. We was talking about the Sumerian Doctrine. We was talking about Tahuti, Asar, Aset. We was talking about this stuff back in the day. I'm 52 years old. I've been studying this type of stuff since I was 5 years old. I never changed. Truth does not change. I never changed. When people was wearing black medallions, and I used to get talked about all the time because I wore black medallions way before it was actually what my father used to wear dashikis and make me wear, not make me, but wear dashikis and wearing black fists around, medallions around my neck, Africa around my neck, before it became a fad. After the fad, because you have people, even hip-hop didn't really it started with Kool Herc, but they had groups and people called the last poets. The N-word is afraid of revolution. These were rappers. They might not have been the rappers like Rappers Delight or Rakim or whatever the case may be, but speaking poetry was rapping to us. Look up, y'all. I want y'all young folks to look up the last poets. The last poets, man, come on. The phrase of N-word, I'm not going to say the word on social media or YouTube. N-word was afraid of revolution. And we were. Or the revolution would not be televised. Where do you think that came from? A group called the Last Poets. Way before Public Enemy. Way before, way before Boogie Down Productions. Way before all these groups, Brand Nubians, way before Queen Latifah, Moni Love, all these other greats of hip-hop. This form of hip-hop we know today is about 52 years old. But hip-hop is really older than 52 years old. Hip-hop came out, matter of fact, back in the doo-wop groups. They used to be in this, before my time. I was born in 73. But before my time, they had groups rapping on the street corners, doo-wopping, straight up kicking poetry on the corner. That's what battling outside, that's where battling comes from. When we was battling each other in the street on the corner, showing our skills, and we win some, we lose some. But these are times. That's what the old school radio comes from. Back in old school radio parts. And then today we're doing podcasting, which I love evolution. I love evolution. I love change. I love all that. I love some of the music even today, how it changed. But I just don't like the low vibration of the music. When you sat down and listened to X-Clan, your vibrations were lifted up. When you listen to KRS One, your vibrations were lifting up. When you listen to Rakim, your vibrations were lifted up. Even Big Daddy Kane kicks some knives in his music. I know y'all call me old, which is cool. Y'all can call me old. That's all right. But when you talk about, when you finding information, you want to get closer to the original path as possible. You want to do that when you finding truth, as I say, finding truth. When you finding truth, you have to find the oldest path possible. And there's always a path older than the next. The Bible's not old enough for me. This is just me talking. The Quran is not old enough for me. The Bible got Gita. The Hindu Bible is not old enough for me. The 73 books in the Catholic Bible is not old enough for me. The coffin text is not old enough for me. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is not old enough for me. I have to find the oldest path possible. The Sumerian text is pretty old. The Emerald Tablets are pretty old. But I'm sure for a fact there are paths older than that. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bible came from the Emerald Tablets. Well, a piece of the Bible came from Emerald Tablets. The part that's not made up. And you have to understand, what I mean by the oldest path possible, learning Jesus' name. His name is not Jesus. I'm just giving you examples. The letter J did not come around until the 15th century. The Hebrew language is not old enough. The Arabic language is not old enough. Hieroglyphs are millions of years older than Hebrew, Arabic, all these other languages that come from the East. There's nothing on this planet and beyond that did not come from black people. Some form of black people as some form or origin. There's nothing that exists on this planet and beyond this planet that does not come from us. Some form of us. Some form of technology that's on this earth, but does not come from this earth, came from somewhere else. Even black people, astronauts. We used to call them astronauts back in the day. There's nothing on this planet and beyond that did not come from us. Sorry. The Bible's not old enough because the Bible talks about it's 6,000 years old. If you add up all the begots in the Bible, it comes up to 6,000 years old. Scientifically, they speak of the bones of Lucy The bones of Lucy are millions of years old. Who's telling the truth? Where are we getting this from? Some of us, when they talk about star children, star children came from 1973, probably older than that, a little bit longer than that. But based on my study, it was 1973 to 2003. And then another cycle of existence came from the star children. The bloodline of the star children are millions and millions and millions of years old. We must keep it real. No disrespect to religion, but religion and spirituality cannot coexist. That doesn't work. Anything that talks about you on the outside makes no sense to even talk about. Everything comes from the inside out. If you're not talking about what will help you from the inside out, we shouldn't have a conversation. You know, that eliminates all religion on this planet. That eliminates all religion on this planet. I'm sorry, my brothers and sisters, people who think I'm crazy, I'm in good company. It's okay. Anun, Inky, when you talk about the Abenakis, Anun, like I said, remember I told you about family? Anun or Abenaki, these are family people. These people are family. They're family. They're blood. They're family. These alien races that live on this planet are family. They're related in some type of way. They're related. The flying saucers that you see, they've been on this planet for millions and millions and millions and millions and trillions of years. Earth has been replenished millions and millions of times. We have a problem. We are all looking for something. We're all searching for something. We all started the same way because everything been taken away from us. I started with the Bible. I was trying to read this book when I was 5 years old. I was always curious. Always curious. When it came to the Bible and the Quran, I was always curious. And there's people on this planet who was just like me at a younger age who was curious about what's going on. This don't sound right. I did a post. If it don't sound right, maybe it's not right. If someone tell you something you got a question, go ahead and question it. Don't even take my word for it. The Old School Radio Podcast represents this. I'm going to talk about wrestling. I'm talking about anything and everything that's enjoyable to us or to me or whatever the case may be. We have to really focus on raising our vibrations, eating the right foods. That's my journey. Your journey may not be my journey. That's fine. But my personal journey is to rebuild myself health-wise. I almost lost my life this year. And this is personal for me. I'm going to talk about this last 15 minutes. I'm not going to be here. I said I'm going to be here an hour, but 15 minutes. Me personally, we have to focus on ourselves. Like Michael Jackson says, we have to focus on the man. We have to focus on the man in the mirror. That's what we have to do. And the problem is, most of us don't do that anymore. We as human beings are always looking for the shortcut. There's no shortcut when it comes to human development. None. No shortcut. A lot of people, whoever tells you it's a shortcut, they're lying. It's not a shortcut. It's impossible to have a shortcut when it comes to human development. I talk about we as a people, black people, a lot, but I'm talking about something that's universal. No matter what creed you are or race you are, this will work for you too. It's not about, it's about us as black people to develop ourselves, to rise above the conditions that we put ourselves in. Yes, it's not our fault that slavery, we went through slavery. I'm not going to be like Kanye and say slavery was a choice. I'm not going to be stupid and say that. I'm not going to say he's stupid. No disrespect to Kanye. But slavery was not a choice. But we cannot continue to use slavery as an excuse. Even though slavery has got us mentally messed up, among other things over the years, has got us mentally messed up. I agree with that. That PSSD is serious. You have to talk to somebody about your personal mental. You have to. But we have to stop making excuses. We have to stop it, man. I'm talking about everything I tell my audience, I'm talking to myself as well. So it's something that we have to talk about on that level. This is real serious when it comes to this. We have to. And another thing we need to do, when we speak on these things, we have to learn how to mention the source. You know where I got this stuff from? The Honorable Muhammad. But a lot of people that's in the Nation of Islam don't talk about the original doctrine that the Honorable Muhammad had. Talking about the mother planes. He was talking about mother planes and UFOs way before anybody else. Publicly. I'm sure there's people on this planet was talking about it among themselves. I know y'all don't like this guy. I'm going to mention his name anyway. Before, no one talked about the Emerald Tablets of Sumerian doctrine when Dr. Malachi Z. York opened his mouth. That's what came out. I know y'all heard of Dr. Malachi Z. York. I know y'all heard of this man. You heard of the Honorable Muhammad. But these people understand this man was accused of child molestation. Whether he did it or not. And I pray that he didn't do it, which I don't believe personally he did it. Because this is the same stuff they tried to pin on the Elijah Muhammad to get the people to stop trusting this man. It's the same MO. Character assassination. When they tried to character assassinate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they tried to character assassinate the Elijah Muhammad using Malcolm. Hell, they set Malcolm up. They set Dr. King up. I guarantee you, all this stuff matches up. They always trying to kill our messiahs. They're always trying to kill our messiahs. Trying to kill our leaders. They're always trying to do that. No matter what color they are. Remember I said that. No matter what color they are. If they are a threat, they will be eliminated. And they have been eliminated. So we have to focus on the reality is we have to get ourselves together, including me. We all have to get ourselves together. Let's just keep it real on that. We have to focus on life like every day is going to end. So it's all about starting with the man in the mirror. At some point in Michael Jackson's life, he had to make a decision to get his personal life in order. They tried to say that when Michael Jackson was talking all this stuff about business and he owning 51% of Sony, all this other stuff, and he bought the Beatles catalog. When you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff is happening. He owned Sony. When y'all listen to Jay-Z and all the rest of these people, Beyonce, guess who got paid first? He owned Sony. His catalog, Prince's catalog, was worth more. R. Kelly's catalog. That's why they did him like that. Even though he did what he did, like other people in the industry, he did what he did. But you have to understand who's the real king of R&B. Who's the real king of R&B? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait. Who? This man's catalog, not to mention all the other songs. He wrote for Michael Jackson. His catalog was worth trillions and millions and trillions of dollars. You don't think they were trying to get him for his catalog? Why do you think they killed Michael and Prince? Prince, anybody in the industry that want to do music with Prince, the number one question that Prince asked them was, do you own your catalog? If you don't own your catalog, don't come my way. Michael and Prince especially. And I'm sure R. Kelly had this conversations with the people he was under. Their goal was to own their catalog. Anybody in the industry, that should be your goal. Is to own your catalog. You selling the album, there's no money in that. But if you own your catalog, boy. Let's keep it real. always go beyond where we're supposed to go. Because we were created that way. We were created that way, y'all. YouTube, you hear that? We were created that way. So you want the real, and the people that's going to be associated with me is going to speak the real. You have to understand, Old School Radio Podcast is always going to keep it real. Always. Always want to keep it real. Even though this is not the show, but I want to let people, I start advertising, I don't think people understand how serious I am when it comes to this. How real I am when it comes to this. This is real. This is something that's going to happen. Just like the earth rotating every day, Old School Radio Podcast, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. Y'all either down with me or not. I'm not doing this to get popular. I'm not. I'm really not. Honestly, you want me to keep it real with you? I'm not doing this to be popular. Because I don't want people to take what I have to say and take it out of context. What Quinn say? Oh, Quinn lost his mind. Quinn saying this, that, another thing. Take everything I say out of context. That's what they do. The trollers. That's what they do. The haters. That's what they do. T.I. even said, you stay in your job now, motivation. Hate to stay on your job, motivation. So I use haters to motivate myself to do what I have to do. This is the realest thing happening. And this is for real. I knew it was going to become a time or a day and age. People are going to look up. You remember that commercial, the Eminem commercial with Santa Claus and the M&Ms first met each other? And they said, they really do exist. He really does exist. And they fall out and faint. That's how most people going to be. When these flying saucers start coming out, and you look in the sky. Now, a lot of people have seen them. But the ones who don't believe and have a religious mind, y'all going to look up one day and say, they really do exist. And you're going to think. So let's keep it real. We have to be real arrogant to understand. I'm not going to say believe because I don't like using that word. I like to know. Knowing is better than belief. My goal is to know, not to believe. Because if I believe, the definition for belief in the Webster Dictionary is to accept. I'm not accepting anything unless I prove it's right. I don't care who's talking. And I expect y'all to do the same. No matter what I say and do, don't believe me. Look it up. And I'm going to details when the Old School Radio Podcast officially start on October 31st, 2025. I'm going to prove and give sources. I'm going to give sources. There will be nothing. Nobody will ever be able to say unless they lie to themselves. That's the only way. And I don't care what the source is. It could be Dr. York. It could be Ambalaz Muhammad. It could be anybody. It could be Clarence 13X, Noble Jew Ali, Marcus Garvey. And these are great men. Excuse me. And these are great men that lived and died. I can't say died. I'm sorry. Forgive me. That moved on. Because we don't really die. We reform. That's the law of energy. A spirit is nothing but energy. This is a universal law. Newton's law is universal. The laws of energy are universal. Let's keep it real. We have to use science, real science, to get our knowledge. If you have no scientific proof, I don't want to hear it. Not no religious stuff. Even faith, the definition of faith is have to have evidence. Even the definition of faith, you have to have evidence. Whether you see it or not. We have to see the problem with religion is we don't think. We were put on this planet and beyond to think. We have to think. Not accept anything, any belief system. We have to think. Wait a minute. That don't make sense. Let me go look this up. Wait a minute. That don't sound right. Let me go research this. The people who just listen to anything and don't look it up, please stop doing that. Please stop doing that. I'm asking you, please stop doing that. Stop taking stuff for face value. I don't care if it looks right. Sometimes, I know a lot of people don't, they normally say when they say this, if it walks like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. Not necessarily. It could be a man dressed as a duck. Stop believing your eyes. Learn to use your heart, soul, and mind. That's another thing I'm about to mention. The best way to find truth, when you find truth, when your heart, soul, and mind align and agree, that's when you found the form of truth. Even then, when you have no doubt in your mind is not arguing with your heart is not arguing with your soul, they're all in agreement. All three elements of yourself is all in agreement. When your heart, soul, and mind agree, that's when you find the form of truth. No matter what it is. If you find something that you're not sure, most likely there's something to it. But just because it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, wobbles like a duck, it might be a duck. It might not be. Let's look it up and find out. So this is something that's important. But look, I'm about to get off here. I'm a little bit over an hour, which is fine. But next time I get on here, anybody, questions, you have questions, I might not be able to answer. But guess what? I'm going to look it up. I might be able to answer. You never know. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. But based on this, remember, the Old School Radio podcast is coming out October 31st on Halloween. I will let you know way before time what time this happens. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. But look, what I was trying to say was the Old School Radio podcast is coming out October 31st on Halloween. My goal is to wake up as many people as I can, no matter what race or creed. My goal is to wake up human beings. That's my goal. And if I wake up, when I wake up, a lot of my people, that's fine. If I get reach 1 or 2 people, every time I get on air, that's fine. I accept that. But look, I love y'all. Much love from the tribe. And remember, look stuff up, question everything. Holler at your boy. Peace.